What's up, guys? How are we doing this evening or this afternoon or whatever it is, wherever you are? I appreciate all you guys coming here for the live stream. It means a lot to me. I don't take this for granted. I know I talk a lot of shit, and I don't mean to get sappy on you guys, but I really appreciate you. So, to get started, I always kind of bullshit around here in the beginning of these things. That's to give people a chance to get in here. The way I generally do things is I try to go through and get to as many questions as I can. It is impossible for me to get all of them. So don't do too much spamming. If there's a burning question that you really feel like I need to answer for you, then I'm going to do a Instagram live immediately after this. It's a little easier to get through on that, and I tend to get off on less of a tangent there. Sometimes I'll get to blabbering too much here, but that's sort of my job, so yeah. But we can roll right into it. See if we got anything. Let me check the backlog, make sure I didn't miss anything good from you guys while you were waiting. I was trying to get the kids out of here for the kids class. They took forever to leave because they like being here. So that's what put me like a minute or so behind. Anyone have advance notice of the topics being discussed? Hostile Graveyard? No, no one does. I do have something I want to talk with you guys about. I want to wait till we get a big crowd of the people that are a little more invested in the channel, the people that spend a little more time here. Make sure as many of them as possible are here, because I just have some questions for you guys actually, so that I know what it is that we should be doing with the channel. Let me see the live chat. Is the live chat going? Will you fight on Street Beefs again? Am I going to put my wife in BJJ class? More firearm related videos? Unskilled grappler in MMA, judo or BJJ? What is your height? 5'5". Wow, these are literally the best questions ever. Oh God, Starkshield. Smarter people, it being harder for them to fight. What I meant, I think it was in the body shot video where I said that if you were a little too smart, it made it harder to fight. As far as like the professional fighters I know, the ones that are a little smarter and a little more thoughtful, sometimes they'll have a little trouble. They'll overthink things. I have a guy, a professional fighter that is a close friend of mine and training partner, and we work together on his stuff. And he's very smart, very intelligent, knows a lot about the game, and tends to overthink it. And what I always want him to do, I always want him to just find out who his opponent is. Don't give it to us, give it to me, and give it to his other training partners and stuff, and let us look up what the guy is and what the guy does, and tell him what to do. And don't you go looking at it, because if you spend too much time thinking about it and you kind of know a lot, you're not objective. So you can be intelligent, but that doesn't make you necessarily objective. And it's hard to be objective when we're talking about something like fighting, which you're emotionally involved. So something that's very emotional can cloud your intelligence and your logic and your thought process. So if you're kind of an idiot and maybe a little bipolar, you can just turn all that shit off and just go bananas and just do your thing. If you're not smart enough to know that a guy is beating you, then you won't feel mentally defeated. I've been way behind on points, and I was acutely aware of how behind on points I was, and that didn't help for me to know so much about what was happening that I was acutely aware of exactly how many points I was down, exactly what I would need to do to win. That didn't help. That information wasn't valuable. My coaches needed to know that, but I didn't need to know that. Height, 5'5". You liked the taser video? Thank you. I did not. I did not like doing it. Better for unskilled grappler, judo or BJJ. Judo is super situational. There's a lot of I think just no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is clearly a superior choice, because yes, you do see judo throws, and you can learn a couple judo throws and get real high percentage at one or two of them that just work really well for you. But unskilled grappler, if you have no skill in grappling, you need to go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. So you learn all the chokes, arm bars, how to defend them, especially the leg lock game, which is already becoming, a big deal, but you'll need to know that stuff. More firearm, 50 Stitches Steel. I appreciate you, man. You've been around a while. More firearms related videos. I'm not exactly, I don't believe that I have the requisite amount of authority on that. I did used to train people in it. I'm super rusty. I'm super out of practice at teaching anything of it. I stay sharp with my skills, but keeping my teaching skills in that area high enough and staying up to date on what the current curriculums and stuff, it's just a little much. And I like to make sure that if I'm speaking on something, I either A, can speak with some confidence on it, or B, can say, hey, I don't fucking know a thing about this, but I'm gonna make a video on it anyway. And with that stuff, I tend, since it's real serious, I don't like to do the, hey, I don't know shit about karate, but I'm gonna do a video on karate type videos. It's really serious business, so I like to treat it with the appropriate amount of gravitas. Put my wife in BJJ class. I think I'm gonna start introducing her to the idea of being a little more combative. She just does the cardio kickboxing, but what everyone said is that she seems to have a natural affinity for just fighting in general, and they thought she'd trained, but no, she's never done a single grappling class. I've never taught her to shrimp. She's never done any of that. She's just seen me do it or seen our son do it, but she's never had a single lesson, not even like a janky half a lesson from me, with my couple stripes. Will you fight on street beefs again? To be honest, because I'm always honest with you guys, I will never say never, but I can say it's extremely unlikely. There's only a couple of reasons I would fight there again, but hopefully I will be collaborating with them on something else in the future that I can't quite speak on yet because it's not sure. I don't like to talk too much shit about something that's gonna happen. I want to show you actions and results, not, theoretical future endeavors. We got 117 people in here. We're going to get Icy Mike. Why so icy, man? I don't know. I was born this way. Firearm retention videos. Have you done a video on Krav Maga? No, I have not. That's a pretty wide topic. There are some aspects of it I could do some videos on, but that's a big can of worms. I'm not opposed to opening it, but it's a big can of worms. What do you think about the mighty? I'm not going to comment on Sass Master. I'm not going to comment on any, just because this is a lot of them. FYI, I am not going to comment or discuss any of the drama or conflict or any of that surrounding street beefs. A, I don't gossip and I don't do that shit. B, I stay out of shit like that. C, I don't fucking know what's going on. So that's a powerful list of reasons why I'm just totally 100% not going to comment on that. I think you should make more videos on why Aikido doesn't work. Actually, there's 2 more videos that we were supposed to do, but we're having problems. Here's some clues. They involve impressions, and I'm cultivating some facial hair for some of that stuff. So there's 2 more Aikido videos in the pipe, at least 2 more. Oh, man. Get Master Wong on Street Beef. Gear review on original Thai belly pad. Yeah, I'm working on it, Cole. I think we talked on Instagram, if that was you. I can go ahead, and he's talking about the original Thai belly pad, which I can highly recommend already. I've been using it. I'm doing a full review on it. You've seen some pictures on my Instagram for it, but I can fully recommend it. Why don't you do yoga, Icy Mike? Just time, man. I'm not totally against it. There's a lot of the poses and stuff from it that I use as stretches in my own training and in training clients, but I don't go to yoga class. We got a yoga studio next door. I've been to a couple. It's just a matter of time. And I usually have the baby here with me, and you can't take a baby to yoga unless you're going to baby yoga, which I'm not doing that. That's why I always lose. Yeah, PG Skills, you lose because you're just so smart. You're just too smart to fight well. You should do a video grappling with a Yawara stick with someone bigger and better than you. Yeah, I'll lose. That's the point I'm making. It's not a force. It's not an equalizer. It's a marginal. Anytime you try to introduce a weapon or tool that's supposed to be like a multiplier, it's not times 2 or times 3 or times 10. Unless we're talking about a gun or a knife. It's a times 1.1. Like, it's a marginal. If you're close, it can make the difference if you can surprise them with it and they don't have experience with it. Other than that, it's just some more shit that you got to worry about. Adding the sticks or flashlights or Kubotans or any of that stuff. Some techniques for women that Dave 000. What do you about some that actually work? Let your wife get some wins. My wife does not need too much help, but I'm about to start training her. She wants to take her training more seriously. She's done with school now. She's graduated, as those of you who are on my Instagram know. She's graduated, so she's going to start training both in fitness and martial arts really hard. She's kind of super excited about it. She wants to take it more seriously. She owns a fitness and self-defense company. She's involved with the behind-the-scenes stuff on the YouTube channel, so she wants to become more legit. She wants to know what's going on and know what she's looking at and be able to help me make videos. If you guys want to see her, do you guys comment? Do you guys like seeing the old Ice Queen in the videos? Yes or no? If you don't know who she is, you must not watch a lot of my channel's videos, but comment. Let me know. You guys want to see more of her? That's kind of one of the questions. She's curious how she's received because she knows that she doesn't know a lot, but she wants to learn more. So I'm curious what you guys think about her. Be respectful, please, or don't. I don't care. Once upon a time, Hollywood has a Bruce Lee fight scene. Bruce Lee gets his ass kicked by a stunt guy. Feels pretty realistic. Thoughts on Bruce getting in real fights? There's no information that says he was a fighter. He's the only guy in the world that can. Well, I don't know. There's a couple guys probably, but there's no everyone like he was a talented martial artist. He was physically talented. Being a talented martial artist and good at fighting are kind of related, barely related. To wit, I give you the street beefs in general. You'll see guys in there that clearly have some training. Some of them look pretty good. First round, they always look really good, throwing up triangles and sprawling and throwing straight punches. But dude, once you get popped in the face, your skill level drops dramatically, right? So a guy of low skill level gets popped in the face and his skill drops, right? The more you get popped in the face, the less your skill will drop from getting hit in the face. So if you have super high skill, but you never had your chin tested or nose tested, you start getting hit, or even just the threat of getting hit, and you're not used to that, like really getting hit, like someone trying to kill you, they're hitting you so hard, you're not inoculating against that stress, and your skills will deteriorate more quickly than a guy with like very little skill who's used to that shit. So fighting and martial arts are not the same thing. They are related, but they're not the same thing. Do I think Subak Do is? I don't know what Subak Do is. So being dumb is better for fighting, huh? Yeah. Sometimes. How do you tie your chucks for activity? I just tie them normal. I just tie them the normal way. Police using artery chokes to subdue a suspect. We were learning those when I was leaving. They were kind of coming into fashion, and we were using stuff like head and arm choke. The head and arm choke, standing head and arm choke. I don't think there's a problem with it, with the caveat that it requires a ton of sensitivity and training and understanding of how long to hold that thing, and that might be a problem. There might not be a way to get the guy enough training so that he can slow down and be sensitive and be thoughtful enough about what he's doing in order to apply that thing the correct amount. I think in small doses, it's totally safe. The problem will be, how do we make sure that we are getting small doses? That's the problem. Untrained slackers. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Untrained slackers. Your screen name checks out because you're probably supposed to be at like jiu-jitsu class or kickboxing class or something like that right now. What do you think about dirty fighting, man? I'm going to assume, Icy Mike in the BKFC, it's your destiny. Are you ready to look like Artem Lobov? I'll get to the bare knuckle stuff here in a second. What do I think about dirty fighting? If you were talking about eye gouges, groin strikes, fish hooking, that sort of stuff, I've done a couple videos on it. I think if you watch my videos, you already know what I think about those. If we're talking about as a little marginal little difference maker, stuff like stepping on the foot, knee bumping in boxing, shoulder, doing some stuff that's like in that gray area, I'm a firm believer in it. I train at it because I don't possess the experience, skills, and attributes to hang with some of the guys I spar with doing regular shit. I mean, I work on my jab. I try really hard to make my jab better, but I also know a bunch of shit off stepping on feet. But now if we're talking about dirty street fighting techniques, it's like, again, if we're pretty equal, I might can surprise you and boonk, thumb in the eye and get the edge in a moment, but it's not a guy that's gonna maul you and kick your ass, you're not gonna be able to do any of that shit to him. He can do all of it too, and he can do all of it from a better position. That's it's a marginal, it's a multiplier of 1.5 something. It's not a doubler or tripler. Let me scroll through. If I don't get to your question, I'm super sorry. That's kind of what I wanted to address because we're growing thanks to you guys, and I appreciate you greatly. But obviously, I can't even keep it. But this thing will go on long. If you have a super pressing question, we're gonna roll here another 15 minutes, and then I'm going over to Instagram Live to kind of not to filter anyone out, but if you absolutely have to get with me, I'll put my Instagram is in the description below somewhere at ICMikeP on Instagram. Immediately following this, we go over to that. So if you have a burning question for me specifically, and you don't want to, and you want to get it answered live, I'll be on Instagram immediately after this, about 6:30 Eastern time. Someone talking training. I don't know what you're talking about. Tito Medina says, hi, are you going to make more videos on combos on a punching bag, hand and foot combo? I can. There's a lot of dudes that do that. I strongly suggest that you get on Fight Tips. I strongly suggest you get on Quan Kicker. Those guys are a little more technically, as far as their own technique is a little technically more crisp than mine. And I think that they would be a better example. The things I try to show are things that I can like make work in spite of my my average Joe technique. I'm sort of trying to be the everyman. I'm not trying to be like, this is like the picture perfect question mark kick. It's like, I can kind of make a question mark kick work if I fake a kick at their nuts, even if it's kickboxing, Yes. I guess I'm catching up to Kristen. Hilarious. She gives you hilarious looks. By the way, I'm behind on the comments. So I'm going to, hey, I see Mike. Red Chucks. What's up, Red Chucks? Hey, I see Mike. What if you like getting punched in the face? Do you have a problem? Yes. We don't need to expand on that. I'm going to scroll through real quick. I'm not trying to leave anyone. Adam Zoabi, a good old friend of the channel. If you had to choose 5 takedowns, shut the fuck. Adam Zoabi. If you had to choose 5 takedowns for a street fight, I would choose 1 and get really good at it. It's a street fight, dude. The guy doesn't have a really good sprawl. He's not going to cross-face you. Get really good at a blast double. Adam. Y'all know Adam is a party pooper. Adam's always ruining shit and asking questions. Asking too many damn questions. Just kidding. Adam helped me make a video on, was it knees? I think it was knees, the way I show knees. And this came up recently. They shared one of my push kick tutorial on Facebook, and it got ripped to shreds. Because what I'm not showing the picture perfect knee or the picture perfect push kick. I'm showing you, when I show a technique, it might even not look right. I'm showing you how to learn it, if that makes sense. Up, out, back, down. All that's going to disappear, live. But if you learn it that way, your technique will end up crisper when you do it live. Adam. How fast do you wear out your tailors? I go through them pretty quick. I wear them. I have a couple pairs. If you have a couple pairs and you rotate them, they seem to last longer than if you just wore them back to back to back. But I don't wear them out as quick anymore because I really am just home and here. I'm not traveling around. I haven't done a lot of traveling. I don't go anywhere. I'm just home and here, home and here, home and here. So I don't wear them out too quick. But I tend to tear them up because I work out in them, and flexing them is not good for them. They start to separate. But that's all I can wear. Maybe a video on knee strikes to the leg. I've done a bunch of them. They're awesome. Knee strikes to the leg. Hey, guys, do your knee strikes, but do them to the leg. There. JTN no upload clinch vid. A screen name. Mr. Jordan De Silva, at Icy Mike, just wondering the point of your Street Beast fights. None of your opponents, from those I saw, were very technical fighters at all. They looked like they were training for like 6 months. So that was the point. The point that I was making, a couple of them were people that called me out, and they said that they could beat me up. And I said, no, you can't. And they said, yes, I can. And I said, no, you can't. And they said, yes, I can. And I said, no, you can't. And they said, yes, I can. And they said, fight me, bro. And I said, okay. And they were like, whoa. Well, I guess we're doing this now. That's kind of how those went. The point of the Street Beast fights, why I fought at Street Beefs. I'll go ahead and answer the question, because that's probably in a lot of people's minds. Why did I fight at Street Beefs? Because it didn't look right. One thing, remember, those guys, for the most part, called me out. They said that they could beat me in a fight, and I said no, they couldn't, and then we fought. That's all that fighting someone proves. It just proves who can beat who. It doesn't prove that a style is better. When I fought the dragon, it didn't prove that his dojo sucked. It didn't prove that his master was full of shit. It didn't prove that Taekwondo was no good. It just proved that I beat him that day. That's all it proves. What I did in each one is I set out to prove a point. With Ninja Ron, I said, I'm just going to kick him in the legs over and over again and watch. He's not going to be able to do anything about it. And that's something that people don't realize. And that's what happened. When I fought Corey Guns, I said, I've been practicing the standing clinch stuff, and I'm not exactly sure how it'll play out full contact with someone much bigger. And I called up Scarface and said, I need someone over 200 pounds to have an MMA fight with, and I wanted to dirty box him. So that was the point. I wanted to dirty box someone that was bigger than me, but not well trained. If I dirty boxed a guy at the MMA gym where I train, or one of my guys here, if I dirty boxed him, he would beat me. I would lose against a 210-pound Sasquatch of a man that trains MMA 5 nights a week. I would lose. Duh, it wouldn't work. But I wanted to test it live, full contact. I can't do that with a training partner or a friend or anything like that. So that was the purpose of fighting Corey Guns at Street Beefs. The Dragon, I made fun of some of his stuff online, and he took offense, rightfully so. I was being offensive and challenged me to a fight. And there, I kind of wanted to show what even mediocre, like 2-stripe white belt jiu-jitsu could do. And so that's why a lot of it was on the ground. But then I didn't factor in that my back would get tore up like that, and I couldn't really shrimp and do much jiu-jitsu anymore. So that's why I fought at Street Beefs. But you're absolutely right. That's the point. Fighting someone that's untrained is different than fighting someone that's trained. And I wanted to be able to prove points about certain aspects of fighting, and how simple some of it could be, or how different it could be against someone untrained. The board won, Jay versus Icy Mike. That'll never happen. Mango Jose 809, do you have public classes or private session type stuff? Yes. If any of you guys are ever in the Myrtle Beach area, about once or twice a week, one of you comes in here. We're going to put more information about that out. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know you're coming, what you want to do. Anyone's welcome to train here. It's a private personal training facility, but it's open to the public. That doesn't mean... And we also have some classes. We have a full class schedule. Just let me know you're coming and let me know what you want. I'll tell you what time you should come here, and we'll take care of you. BJJ Thai boxing. I just read a really good question about dealing with nervousness prior to a fight. Yeah, we get those a lot. Your answer is, so BJJ Thai boxing says, if you're nervous before a fight, forge yourself in fire, meaning train at a gym that features full contact. You'll become acclimated. Sort of. The best way to get better is to train light with people who maybe not as skilled as you. That's an unpopular opinion. But being able to confidently try new things is how you get better. Then you do want to forge yourself in fire to an extent and have some hard sparring with a person that has some control, but you guys are really, really working really hard. You are going to be nervous when you fight. Everyone's nervous all the time when they fight, unless they're stupid or emotionally unstable or kind of bipolar. But everyone's nervous. But those are good pieces of advice. Again, have you used those hand wraps that are like fingerless gloves? No, I use hand wraps for real. Beyond Fatal, Mike, I admire you a lot, man. Thank you, man. That's the kind of things I want to talk about. So I'm gonna stop with the questions. I'm gonna stop looking at this phone like an asshole. Because I use my phone to do that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to hop on Instagram Live immediately following this. So I want to ask you guys some questions about the direction of the channel, because the problem is the channel's getting pretty big, and I'm sort of teetering on the brink of YouTube becoming like possibly something sort of like a job. But I wanted to talk with you guys, and I'm going to go back later and read all the comments that follow. I'm not trying to be rude, but I want to make sure I get everything out, and I want to hear everything that everyone has to say. I'm going to watch the replay and check all these comments. So I'm just going to spitball some things out there. A couple of the issues is to expand on YouTube. It's like there's momentum and it's exponential. It's like running downhill. You have to lean forward in order to keep running. And if you can't stop, you can't slow down. You could only stop, and it can be an ugly stop. Running downhill is a dangerous thing. But if you lean into it, you can run faster and faster and faster and faster, as long as you can keep pumping your legs and keep them underneath you. So I really would like to lean into this YouTube thing, but creating content on a full-time schedule is difficult. We are on Patreon. If you guys notice, I don't throw a bunch of shit at you where I'm trying to sell you stuff all the time. A lot of channels do that. I do have a Patreon, but I don't force anyone into it. And there's people there that are supporting the channel and really, in essence, supporting me and my family. And I appreciate you immensely. As a viewer, you are super important to the channel. It sounds like lip service, but a channel really doesn't exist without viewers. And this whole time, I've tried to make sure that everything I'm bringing you is like sincere and genuine and real. And I don't make a video unless I think it's going to be valuable to another person. I don't make self-serving videos. I started out trying to do vlogging because it made me feel good about what I did. And it was therapeutic and cathartic and interesting for me to do. No one gave a shit. I started making videos where I'm like, I need to make a person laugh, I need to give them information, or I need to help them with something. And then the channel exploded. So in being selfless, it paid off selfishly. So that, to you guys, if any of you are interested in content creation, I have another channel that I'm gearing up to build where I'm going to give more advice and tidbits and stuff on content creation. Like if you want to be a YouTuber or be an Instagram, influencer, I'm going to be doing that. But the question that I have for you is, I'm being approached by a ton of companies about sporting their stuff and brand deals. And you guys know if I've ever said anything or showed anything on the channel, I tell you exactly what I think about it. And companies have sent me stuff to review and I'm like, this shit is garbage. I'm not recommending it. And I, turn down anything from them. But we're getting to the point where to continue doing stuff, I kind of got to do some brand deal type stuff. Like this video is brought to you by. Now, luckily, all the companies that have hit me up and tried to throw a bunch of YouTube money at me have been scared away when I tell them my rules. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to read a big, long, corny script. I'm not going to do any goofy shit where like I make up a topic for a video that fits the thing. I'm going to do the video like normal. Just going to set some time aside to pay the bills and keep the lights on. I know that's going to be unpopular with some people, but everyone tells me that the YouTube audience gets that you have to do that. Like if you want to be able to continue to make videos, because I can't do a hobby as a full-time job forever, So your thoughts on brand deals and how it should be handled. My current thing is you can send me whatever you want. Here's my rules. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to make the video the way I want to make it. And I might talk good about it. Like when I did the whip video, that was not a brand deal. He just sent me the whip and said, will you do a video on this? I said, okay, but I'm not going to recommend it. And in that video, I strongly recommended against it. And I would say that probably did well for him because last I heard he was sold out of those things. So you guys know that I'm going to keep it real, but how in the modern YouTube climate, you guys as consumers of content that watch YouTube, how does that stuff land for you? Is that a quick turn off, click away, can't do it? I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I just want to know. I just want to be prepared while I make these decisions. Also, what do you think about the weapons-based stuff? I'm interested in doing more of that. I don't like the idea. We've looked at pepper ball guns and like projectile taser things and all this stuff. So what do you think about those tests of those weapons? Is there ways that we could maybe make it better? Is there tests of things you want to see or ways you want to see it tested? Like how live, like punches and kicks, or we try to tackle the guy to the ground after we've been hit with the weapon. Tell me what you guys think about that sort of thing. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know from you as a viewer. No way. I'm just going to real quick jump through some of these. Wow. Real quick. Just scrolling through, I see that this is like kind of unwavering 100% support the idea of like it's crazy. There's a video coming out on the Patreon where I start crying in it, and it's just kind of crazy. I don't take this for granted. You guys that have been in my Instagram inbox and seen the links that I'll go to for people know that I take it super serious. I I bullshit a lot in the videos. We get a little more real in the live, and the people, you guys, there's at least a couple of you watching that have come over the past couple weeks, like come here to train. And they always say the same thing. They're like, whoa, it was like a real class. Like it was like a real class with real instruction and not a lot of joking. I'm not saying I don't joke and bullshit around and laugh and, you know, do funny dances and goofy shit, but we actually train real hard here. And sometimes that's lost in the videos. So I appreciate you greatly. I'm going to hop off here and go over to Instagram Live right now. Down below, there's a link to my Instagram at IcyMikeP. If I did not get to your question and you have a burning desire to ask me live on Instagram Live, I'm not going to talk any more boring shit like this. I'm going to get straight to the questions. I'm only going to answer questions for the next 30 minutes so that I can get to as many as possible. So it's the link's in the description below somewhere, but if you go to your Instagram, it's at IcyMikeP, and there's no E in Icy.